Hello. I was reading about how hit songs are getting shorter, and the writer asked whether a new hit album by the band Tool full of 10-minute plus songs is the exception that proves that rule, which is a very common phrase, but it's also, when you think about it, complete nonsense, because an exception can only disprove a rule. If I tell you on Thursday that I don't drink alcohol, and then on Friday you see me shit-faced at a bar, and I say, well, this is the exception that proves the rule, then you'd be correct to call me out on it, because my drinking has done literally the opposite. This misunderstanding probably came about because the English word prove comes from the Latin probo, which means to test. And the exception that tests the rule makes much more sense. That's what exceptions do to rules. They test them. They make you think, wait, hang on, is this a rule or is it just a general rule? Some people have argued that this is what the exception that proves the rule is supposed to do. It just draws attention to a general rule. When there's a random hot day in the middle of summer, somebody might say, oh, this is the exception that proves the rule that summer's always hot. While I might say, well, actually, this exception proves that summer isn't always hot, just that it's usually hot. They might reasonably retort that this cool day being unusual enough to remark upon proves the existence of a general rule that summer is always hot. And that's fair, but here's why I'm ranting about this. Most of the time when this exception proving the rule chestnut gets rolled out, we're not giving it this much thought. And that's important because it gets used to slide things by us that we really shouldn't be letting go. It's like a bypass mechanism for our spidey sense. That's dangerous. Let's say the next time you see me on a Friday evening, you accept a lift home from me because that other time that I was wrecked was the exception that proves the rule that I don't drink. But then it turns out I was messed up and we both die in a fiery drink driving crash. How has the exception that proved the rule helped you then? Sure, that's an unlikely hypothetical, but if you really want to see how stupid this exception that proves the rule nonsense is, let's see how it holds up in other contexts. If someone steals your car and then tells you that's the exception that proves the rule that they're not a thief, are you going to lend them something else? Is being convicted of pedophilia after a lifetime of public service the exception that proves the rule that someone's not a pedophile? You going to let them look after your kids? Was the Holocaust the exception that proves the rule Hitler wasn't genocidal? Of course not. Exceptions don't prove rules, and don't let anybody convince you otherwise unless you're willing to let a little genocide slide. And there seem to be too many people in this day and age that might actually be willing to do that. But not you. You're better than that. Don't condone genocide. This has been another rant from a Chaise Longue. Please do like and subscribe if you feel so moved. And if this rant gave you feels, share them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.